Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. This video has been long awaited by me. Shop Miss A released a new foundation on their website with the AOA brand, and I really love their buildable satin foundation. It's their drop liquid foundation, and this is light medium coverage, and I love it. It looks so beautiful. So when I saw that they had a new foundation, I knew it was going to be good. But due to everything that's going on in the world, understandably, it took a really long time to get here. This is the new foundation compared to the other bottle. This is 19 milliliters and this is 30 milliliters or 1 ounce, so you do get more in this bottle. And this is their ProWear full coverage foundation. This is also in partnership with their Paw Paw charity. Some of their products on their websites are priced a little bit more expensive, like 55 cents more expensive than the other products, and those part of the proceeds go towards some sort of charity like education, or this one is protecting animals against abuse. Even though it is a tiny bit more expensive than their other products, it's still $1.55 for 1 ounce of product, which is incredible. I don't think you're going to find anything better than that unless you go to Dollar Tree. Your options there are a lot more limited. I do have a few other new products that I picked up from them. One is their concealer. They came out with felt tip eyeliners. So excited for that. Something new also, to me at least, is their brow gel. And then I also got a sponge, which I'm going to be using to apply the foundation. So if you are excited for this video, make sure you give it a like, and you can subscribe to my channel if you want to see more affordable hair and makeup videos. I'm gonna go wet my sponge. The sponge I ended up getting is their purple teardrop microfiber wonder blender. This thing is so soft, and it grew a pretty significant amount when I wet it. This also helps contribute to the Paw Paw foundation. Claims to absorb 70% less product than a standard beauty sponge. The one I use currently is by Real Techniques. So to apply the foundation, I'm going to be doing half of my face with a sponge and half with a flat top AOA Kabuki foundation brush. I need a headband for this. Okay, so it says to shake this. I got shade Fair Ivory, which is the second to lightest shade. They have 15 shades, 5 in the fairer section, 5 for medium, and then 5 for deep. Okay, I'm gonna squirt a little bit on my palette. It's kind of a thick formula. I don't know if you can see that. It looks like the foundation might be a little yellow for my skin tone. I'm going to dot it on this side. Yeah, it is definitely not a good tone for my skin. It does look different than the drop liquid foundation. That one is also in shade Fair Ivory, and that looks yet less yellow. Ooh, this does feel so velvety. I'm gonna take the bottom of the sponge. It's weird, my sponge actually has like a little chunk missing out of it. It came that way. It doesn't look like it's supposed to be that way, but I may have put a little bit too much. Spread it out over my forehead. It does look like it's providing pretty good coverage. It is looking a tad bit cakey in some areas. That may be because I put too much, so we'll see how this other side looks and how it looks after I set it. I'm loving this sponge though. It feels so good. It's blending it out really beautifully. It doesn't feel like it's absorbing much at all. I could definitely afford to go down a shade in this foundation. It looks a lot different than it does in the bottle and on their website. I'm gonna dot some on this side and apply it with the brush. It does look less cakey on this side because I did put less, but it is also less full coverage. This side there's a lot more covering up, and this side there's more redness coming through and discoloration. I'm gonna let each side set for a little bit, and then I'm gonna try and do a second layer. I'm applying the second layer on both sides with the sponge. It seems like it provides really good coverage for a sponge. Like usually I get much better coverage with a brush, and the finish also looks really nice. There's like a spot on my forehead where it looks like the foundation is drying really weird. Try and blend that out to make it look better. So I wouldn't say it's completely full coverage. I do have a red spot over here that is peeking through the foundation. It's starting to look a little dry on my skin. It seems like the more it dries down, the more patchy it looks. Maybe I just didn't blend it out quick enough, but it also seems like it is drying down in like certain areas, like right here and up here. It looks darker and a little crusty. I think I'm gonna try and bounce it out after I put on setting spray to see if I can blend out those patches. I'm really liking the sponge so far. I think I'm also gonna try this out with the concealer. The foundation, it's a coverage that I am okay with. I wouldn't exactly say it is full coverage unless I were to do another layer. As far as the shade, it does look closer to my skin tone once it's blended out. So they also recently came out with a liquid concealer by the AOA brand, and I really wanted to try this out because I've never tried a foundation from them before, but they were out of almost all of the fair shades. It looks like they're still sold out of all of the lighter shades, so I had to get the 5th lightest shade, which is Sand. Now, I normally probably would have gone with Porcelain or Fair Ivory because I'm pretty pale. Since I really wanted to try it, I was like, well, let's at least try out a darker color and I can try and mix it with a lighter concealer to see if it works. Given that the Fair Ivory for this foundation was darker than I thought it was going to be, I'm kind of terrified to put this under my eyes. But we're gonna do it anyway. Something I love about this brand is that everything is cruelty-free and it's so cheap. So it just proves that you don't have to charge a lot to do things like that. When it came, it looks like it kind of got beat up in the packaging, like it was in a cardboard package, but it kind of exploded. To lighten it, I'm going to be using this e.l.f. concealer. Like you can already tell, these are very different shades. This is in shade Fair Rose and it is so light. I can't use this just alone or else I look crazy, so I'm hoping that with this it'll look okay. So I'm gonna dab some. Oh wow, yeah, that's really dark. And this e.l.f. concealer dries down extremely quickly, so I'm going to be adding a touch and then immediately I will blend it in with a brush on this side. And this concealer is supposed to be medium to full coverage. It looks like this is not going to be light enough still. So obviously I won't be able to tell exactly what this concealer is like since I am mixing it with another one. But I like the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. I would like to eventually try out the right shade of concealer once they do get it back in stock. Okay, that's looking pretty full coverage. Like I said, it's hard to tell with the e.l.f. concealer as well, but it's looking smooth. It's definitely way too dark for me. But I say I like it so far. I'm going to try and blend out the line between the foundation and the concealer. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, but I'm going to blend it out with the sponge. Okay, I think I did get better coverage with the brush. I like it though. It's not looking too dry. It's not creasing any more than usual. It does feel like this is dried down, so I don't think I would need to powder it, but I am going to powder underneath my eyes. This is the CYO finishing powder, just to kind of set that in place and prevent any further creasing. It's looking okay with powder on top. I'm going to add some Dewy setting spray to see if I can cause the foundation to not look so dry. This is the Catrice Prime and Fine Dewy Glow Fixing Spray. I really like this. It really makes you glowy. That did liven up the foundation. It does look less dry. I'm not liking how it's looking on my nose though. It looks, I don't even know how to describe it. It's not sticking to my nose very well. Like I have a lot of redness. This is just coming through. The next new product I'm going to try out from them is their brow gel. Now I don't really ever use a brow gel, and this is kind of a weird way to put it in a squeeze tube. Typically it's in some sort of container with a spoolie. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of this on my palette. This is shade Caramel. This is the second darkest shade that they have. They have 5 different shades, and it also claims to be waterproof. I'm gonna take a little bit on my brush. Okay, this is way too dark for me, even though it's Caramel, the second lightest shade. It's looking really dark. Never would have guessed that I would have needed taupe. I'm guessing if you have blonde hair, this is not for you. Okay, the shade is bad, but I really like the formula. It's drying down and keeping my brows really in place. AOA makes some really great brushes too. This is applying it pretty well. I'm gonna clean up this brow with some concealer. As far as formula goes, I would give it a 9 out of 10. It's keeping all of my brow hairs in place, but it doesn't feel crunchy. Like my eyebrows still feel very soft, and it's not coming off when I rub my eyebrows. But the shade, I don't know how this is their second lightest shade because this is dark. After the shade, they have medium brown, dark brown, and ebony. So I can't imagine how dark those ones must be if this is this dark. I have one more product that I'm going to try out on camera, but I'm going to add some other makeup and come on back. My eyebrows are looking wild. The last product is their new Felt Tip Eyeliner. They have a variety of shades, and since I have so many black eyeliners, I thought, let's try out a fun color. They have black, dark brown, navy, forest green, and royal purple, and I ended up going with royal purple because I don't really think I've ever owned a purple eyeliner. It doesn't say anything about being waterproof, if that is a concern. And this only costs $1, and it's very, very fine tip. I only have some powder on my eyelids right now. I don't have eyeshadow, just something to kind of absorb the oils. It glides on pretty smoothly. It's a very pretty purple color. I added some wings and some mascara, and I've got to say I love this eyeliner. The formula is opaque, so you don't have to go over it more than one time. This shade is so beautiful. It's just a deep purple that would look good on anyone's skin with any color eyes, in my opinion. I want to buy all the other shade because this is so beautiful, and it's dark enough that it's not super powerful, like you can tell from far away I'm wearing purple eyeliner. From far away, it kind of just looks like black eyeliner, and once you get up closer, you can tell that it is a deep purple. I really love the eyeliner. Hi, I'm a few days into the future, but I just wanted to give a little update on both the concealer and the foundation. You guys, I love this foundation. So the day after I filmed this video, I tried it with the Essence Fresh and Fit Awake Primer, which is a dewy and moisturizing primer. It really transformed the finish of the foundation. It didn't look dry anymore. It went on so smoothly, but I did have an issue. By the end of the day, it hadn't really kept its coverage. It had kind of worn off. So the next day, I used the same primer and I set it with my Coty Airspun. That really made the difference. This is actually my third day of trying that combination, and I love it. It looks so smooth on the skin, and the primer really helps the dryness that was there before. I wouldn't exactly say it looks skin-like, but you can't really tell that I'm wearing foundation. It just looks so smooth over the skin. And setting it is also key because yesterday I had it on for about 12 hours, and I was outside, I went for a bike ride, and I was sweating a little bit, and it still looked great at the end of the night. Most of the coverage was still there by the 12th hour, and I ended up putting on 2 layers yesterday because I wanted to see if I could get it fuller coverage. I wouldn't exactly say it's full coverage. It's like low full coverage. That's a thing. The darker, more recent acne scars I had kind of poked through the foundation a little bit. I was still comfortable with it. And then with the concealer. So I have a few different concealers that are way too light for my under eyes. I usually have to end up using a darker setting powder to tone them down a little bit so I don't look crazy. But what I've been doing the past few days is I will put just a tiny dab of this on my beauty sponge and then use that to blend out the light concealer, and I love it. It's just enough that it darkens that concealer to look normal for my skin tone, and the finish looks good. It adds a little bit of coverage. I still would like to try out this concealer when I can get it in my shade, but for now I'm able to make this work. I forgot to mention that I also put the Catrice Dewy Glow setting spray on top today, and I think that looks awesome. See if I can try and get it to focus. It is creasing a little bit up here, but that's because I do this all the time, and that's something I can't really avoid with any foundation. So yeah, I am so excited for this foundation because it looks incredible, and it's honestly going up towards some of my favorites. So this is my final look using these new AOA products. I think my favorite has to be the eyeliner. It's such a fun color. It's so cheap. It's fine tip. It is amazing. I also really love the sponge. This texture is just so unique. I think it's like the Juno & Co. one, but it blends out foundation really well and doesn't absorb a ton of product. I would be entirely sold on this brow gel if it wasn't 4 shades too dark for me. It's hard to tell with the concealer because it was so dark, but my under eyes are looking pretty good. They don't look dry or crepey, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it gets the pass. But for 1 fluid ounce for $1.55, this is an incredible deal. I would only say don't try this out if you do have pretty dry skin. Otherwise, I think it's definitely worth the $1.55 for a 1 ounce bottle. Like, this is gonna last me forever. That is all I have for today's video. I'm going to list and link all of these products in the description box below if you want to check it out. There are so many amazing products on the Shop Miss A website, especially from the AOA brand, so I highly recommend checking it out. And it's so cheap that when I feel like I'm splurging and I'm getting like 10 products, the bill is still under $20. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, subscribe to my channel if you want to support me. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for your support, and I will hopefully see you in my next video.